Hey, sweet friends. Well, Miss Lori's back, and we're going to finish up our 2-day series, whatever you want to call it, of putting up potatoes. Um, my last video, we put up French fries, and no, it wasn't my last one. One before. My last one was strawberry shortcake. I'm losing it, y'all. I can't keep track of days or videos or anything else. It's just life is so busy. So the video before last, we put up our French fries. I showed you how to do that instead of canning them. Another way of preserving the harvest. Now, in times past, I really didn't have room in the freezer to be putting anything really, especially potatoes, up in the freezer. But this year I do. And tell you the truth, I just really don't anymore care for canned potatoes. And I know y'all see me can potatoes every different way. And if I had to do it, I would, believe me. But if I don't have to, I'm not going to, because I just don't care for them. Somebody asked me, and several people have, Miss Lori, what is something that you've canned that you probably wouldn't ever can again? And potatoes is one of them. And it's not that I wouldn't ever can them again if I had to, for necessity reasons, but it's just not, canned potatoes are just not my favorite anymore. And I've ate plenty of them, believe me. I'm just getting to where I just soon freeze them. And the way that I do it, they last all winter in the freezer, and they just turn out really good, y'all. So if y'all are not wanting to can your potatoes, or you're new at canning and you just would rather freeze them or whatever, and you've got a pretty good harvest, and you don't have to, I mean, you can go do store-bought. I have found out that that russets and Yukon Gold do really good. They freeze very well. And somebody asked me, they said, I did not know that you could freeze potatoes, that they thought they'd be grainy or something. I'm telling y'all, they're not. You buy French fries and frozen potatoes in the supermarket, and this is, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, because what we do is we'll blanch, we'll flash freeze, and then we'll put them up, and that will keep your potatoes good all winter. So it's a good thing. So we're going to get started, and we may I'm just going to bring y'all with me for everything that I'm going to be doing. And I have found out that I'd rather do videos that way than anything else. It's just bringing y'all into my life, my everyday, whatever I'm doing, and just inviting you into my home to sit down and be with me for whatever I'm doing that day. It don't matter. And sometimes Mr. Brown's with me too, and I know y'all love it when he's here with me doing stuff with me. So let's get started putting our potatoes up, mashed potatoes and hash browns, and I'll show you. And it's a good thing. I freeze potatoes all the time. I freeze mashed potatoes, and it's not only a convenience, it's just a good way, another way of preserving your potatoes. So let's get started, y'all. It's going to be a busy day. Okay, let's put up some mashed potatoes. Now I've got my pot here with water and a little bit of salt in it, and I'm just going to throw my potatoes in here. And I've got about 5 pounds of potatoes that I cut up. And this will be a good start. I'm putting several bags of mashed potatoes in the freezer. So I'm just going to boil these just like you would any other time making mashed potatoes. Boil them till they get good and tender, which usually takes, well, a pot this big might take about 20 minutes. These are Yukon Gold and russets. To me, they make the best mashed potatoes, and that's what Mr. Brown grew this year in the garden. So we'll just bring that up to a boil. Boil them for about 20 minutes. And then we'll make our mashed potatoes. Y'all can fix your mashed potatoes the way that y'all like them, with whatever seasoning or how much butter or milk or whatever. I've got 3 sticks of butter, and they are salted butter sticks in here. And then I've got about 1.5 cups of milk. You can use heavy cream, half and half. But what I have started doing too is, instead of using the milk, the organic milk that we drink for cooking with, I've been mixing my own milk up to make gravy and mashed potatoes and for cooking and baking with, and just keeping what the organic milk, whether if it's the good raw milk that we're able to get sometimes, or if it's the organic milk that we buy. And using it plumb up when I'm cooking, I just go ahead and I make my own milk up. Now you can use any kind of powdered milk. This is some that I found off Amazon a long time ago, and I just recently opened it up. But it's Red Cow. It's made from real fresh milk. It's full cream milk powder. So like I said, you can use, I've got different kinds of I've got buttermilk powder, and I've got just different kinds of milk powder to use, but this was one of them, and it's really good. So I'm gonna put some pepper in here with the potatoes. I'm gonna kind of be careful with the salt because I'm putting salted butter in here. Not going to put too much because I can always salt them later when I open the bag up and use them. Turn my burner off. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this in here. Start mashing. Now there are some times that I like making garlic potatoes. I like putting maybe a little bit of parsley or something in them. But and usually when I make garlic potatoes, I'll throw a couple of cloves in with my potatoes when I'm boiling them up. But I didn't want to make these into garlic potatoes because you never know what you're going to be using them for. You may be going to use them for, besides a side dish, you may be going to make potato cakes or shepherd's pie, or, you know, just something different out of it. You never know. So I'm always careful about stuff like that. Because you can always season things up later. I mean, I'm always one, when I am cooking, I like to season stuff, but sometimes you just, there's just different things that you're different with. And it's pretty much going to take most of this, probably all of it. Now, before I even think about bagging this up and putting it in the freezer, they're going to have to cool completely down, of course. And I like doing 5 pounds at a time I mean, if you've got the space and you've got, you know, the time to do 20 pounds, go ahead. But I can do this 5 pounds, then I can come back another day and do another 5 pounds. But I am putting quite a bit up in the freezer, so I've got to watch my freezer space too. But this right here will feed me and Danny for a while. Plus I'll be keeping fresh potatoes on hand too from the garden. I'm not going to process all of them and put them all up. But these will last in the freezer most of the winter time. So it ain't something that I've got to really, you know, use up fast. I've been freezing potatoes and rice and stuff like that for a long time, and it always works out real good. When I cook a pot of rice, I usually make quite a bit, and then we'll eat what we're going to eat that night, and then I'll bag the rest of it up, separate it, and freeze it. And when I need just a little bit of rice for stir fry or anything, casserole or something, I've got my rice. All I gotta do is thaw it out in the refrigerator and it's ready. I'm gonna taste that. Yeah, it's pretty much just about right. That salted butter, put plenty of salt in it, don't need no more. So it tastes good. I'm gonna get it off this burner though, this hot stove, and let them cool down completely before I bag them up. So I wanted to show you that I got 12 bags with 2 cups of mashed potatoes in each one, which is plenty for me and Danny. So that is 12 meals of mashed potatoes. The way that I do my hash browns, and I know there's different ways to do it. The easiest way, the fastest way, and the way that they will not turn brown in the freezer. You can either leave the skin on and boil them. Just boil them long enough that when you stick a knife in there, they're starting to get tender. You can bake them in the oven till they get tender. Or you can do like I did, and I used my Instant Pot. And I put them in there for about, I had more than this right here. I've been working on grading them. Let's see, I put them in there for about 12 minutes. And the biggest one, everything was tender. So I took them straight out there and I let them cool down completely. Now I took the peeling off my potatoes before I cooked them. You could leave the peeling on there. But I took it off and put them in my Instant Pot. Put a cup of water in the bottom. Put them on the trivet. You can even stack them. And I cooked them on manual for 12 minutes. When 12 minutes was up, I depressurized them. When it was done, the pressure was out. I lifted the lid, stuck a knife in them, and they were good and tender. I didn't want to cook them too much. I don't want them mush because I'm not making mashed potatoes out of these. I'm making hash browns. So once I take them out, I let them cool completely, and then I put them in the refrigerator. So that's where they've been, in the refrigerator. You need to let them stay in there for at least about 3 to 4 hours. Get them really good and cold through and through. And then you're going to take them and you're going to grate them. Now I just do mine with my hand grater. It's easy. It goes pretty fast. Even with my old arthritic fingers, I can still do it pretty easy because the potatoes are not raw and they're not hard. but so they come out really good. Or you can put them in your food processor, whichever. So this is just the way I do it, and I want to show y'all how I done it, and it works perfectly every time. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to grate these potatoes. Now, this potato is good and coated, just come out of the refrigerator, and they grate really, really easy. You need to grate a little bit and then kind of lift your grater and separate your shredded potatoes a little bit, and you see how they turn out. They're shredded up good. I ended up cooking 10 potatoes, and I should get quite a bit of hash browns out of 10. I like to do it just a few at a time. I don't like to stress myself out by doing so much. So you see how that turns out. They're just shredded up really good. And we're going to be making little hash brown patties, I think is the way I'm going to do it this time. Now your potato may break up a little bit, but just hold on to it. Be careful and don't cut your hand off. That's why you may want to do it in your food processor. But it all works out. So there you go. One potato makes quite a bit of hash browns. So what we're going to do is I greased a quart size ring, and I kind of oiled it, sprayed it a little bit. I'm just going to make little patties. It's just like a little mold. If you want to make them smaller, you can use a regular lid too. I know most of y'all probably have cannon lids and rings. You can even put you some little onions in there if you wanted to. So that works out really good to make patties, or if you want to, just leave them shredded. You see how they're shredded up. You can see, and they'll cook up really fast because really it's already cooked. So all you got to do is brown them up. So I've got some parchment paper on here, and I'm just going to take my patties. I don't know how many I'm going to get yet out of 10 potatoes, but what I'm getting right now is I'm getting 2 patties per potato. So I should get at least 20 hash brown patties out of 10 potatoes. So we're going to stick them in the freezer. I'm just going to continue making my patties. And I'm going to flash freeze them. And these should freeze pretty good in probably, several hours, or you can leave it overnight if you want to. And once they get good and frozen, we'll throw them in a bag, and they'll be ready to cook up. Okay, our little hash browns patties are good and frozen. Now, you can bag these up, put as many in a bag as you want. I'm going to put, and you could vacuum pack these too. I think I'm going to put 3 to a bag. Danny would eat 2, and I would just eat 1 usually for breakfast with some eggs and sausage or gravy or something. So, there is your hash brown patties. If you didn't want to make little patties, hash brown patties, you could, once you got them grated up, you just spread your your hash browns all over a sheet pan with some parchment paper, and I always go ahead and spray it a little bit. And try to get it separated as much as you can. And then flash freeze them, and then stick them in a bag. Now, something I want to tell you, if you cook these in the oven, thaw them out. But if you just cook them in a little bit of oil on top of the stove, keep them frozen when you cook them. Or if you want to stick it in maybe an air fryer, and I don't know how that would be done because I've never done it, you would keep them frozen too. So that's just another way of preserving our potato harvest for this winter. We will look forward to all this between our hash browns, our mashed potatoes, our french fries. It's going to really be good. Since we're going to be putting stuff up, I'm going to put up some onions. I have got a whole box of Vidalia onions from Georgia. And I'm going to be dicing some up for certain recipes that I want diced onions. And then I'm just going to slice some up for like fajitas and stuff like that. So I'm going to get all these cut up and ready to dice and to slice. Be a good thing, and they freeze up really well. They'll last all winter in your freezer. I do this every year as winter's coming on. This summer, I didn't get any onions in the garden. Okay, I'm going to use my silicone muffin doohickey here that I use a lot of times. Y'all see me use it for my shredded zucchini and freezing eggs and things like that. But with my diced onions, I'm going to use it. I'm going to put, each one of these holds about half a cup of diced onions. I like doing my diced onions like this, flash freezing them into little rounds, and you know how much is in each little round, be about half a cup. And I do use quite a bit of diced onions, especially in casseroles and stuff like that, when I'm making homemade salsa. So it's handy to have. Plus the fact that these are such good onions from Georgia, Vidalias. I sure don't want any of them going bad on me. These silicone muffin things. How come I can't think of that word? But anyways, they're not tins, so I can't call them muffin tins. They have been the handiest things, I'm telling you. I was gifted 3 of them, and I use them all the time. I'd never bought me any, just never, I watched people use them, but I just never took the time to order any. But I'm so glad that somebody thought about me and sent me some, because I have used them and used them. The rest of my onions, I think I'm just going to slice them and cut them kind of in chunks. And I'll just freeze them in a freezer bag or something. That's what I usually do, because I'll use the bigger chunks and slices in different kinds of recipes. So I like having both. I like having diced and sliced and chunked. just another good way to preserve your food for later use. I don't like seeing anything go bad. So whatever we have to do to preserve it for later use, it don't matter if it's canning or freezing or dehydrating. It's all a good thing. Okay, let's finish up putting our onions. I'm out of gallon trash bags, freezer bags. So I do keep these bread bags. I've been doing this for umpteen years. I've been using bread bags to store stuff in the freezer. And I got this, I guess, from my grandmother and probably my mother-in-law. I don't remember my grandmother buying a lot of freezer bags, but I guarantee you, if you looked in her freezer, her deep freeze, she had bread bags full of just whatever she needed to use it for. And it always worked, and it works for me. Of course, we always clean the bread out of it and clean it out good. Then I fold them up and I keep them to use. So we're going to be using them to store these onions in. Now, these onions will freeze solid. They'll freeze hard. And, you know, they'll freeze together, but that's okay. So they're the ones that you get at the store, so you just kind of tie it up good, get the air out of it. And I can also add to this bag if I have more onions to put up too. I'm just going to twist them around and tie a knot in it. And whenever I need some onions, I'll just grab me some. It's worked for years for me. You just, if your onions are frozen, just kind of bang them on the counter, and just like you would, like I said, the store-bought, and grab you some out there, and it works. These will be the onions that I use for my roast. Danny's needing me to get him some tongs out of the drawer. He's cooking on the grill. But I'll be using these onions for roast and roasted chicken and stews, and if I'm making fajitas or stir fries, that's what this will be used for. And my diced up will be used for casseroles and just stuff that you need diced onions for. We're also going to be putting up some peaches today in the freezer. We got these in Missouri when we come back from Springfield the other day. These are Georgia peaches, and they are good. We're going to slice them up and put a little sugar on them. And then we're going to bag them up in quart bags and freeze them. It's going to make some really good peach cobbler. Or to make some more peach ice cream. These are really good peaches. Georgia peaches. I wish I'd have got 2 boxes of them now. If I'd have known they was going to be this good. I ended up with 5 quart bags of peaches, which means 5 cobblers. And I've got more peaches to put up too. So we'll have plenty of peaches for this winter. For cobblers, peach ice cream. Also, I'm going to be putting up some bananas. These bananas, I always peel them and then I put them in a bag. I don't put anything on them. Even if they turn a little bit brown or black, it don't matter. But I use this in pancakes, bread, muffins, smoothies, you name it. Bananas are good for so many things. And I also end up, and I'll just put them in the freezer just like that. Now, I throw my peelings in a big container, jar or something, and then I'm going to cover it with water, put a lid on it, and let it sit for a week. And then I use the water on my indoor plants. It's really good for your indoor plants. Put some potassium in there. So it's a good thing. Bananas are good for so many different things, even your plants. I'll show you something else that I'm trying to get done today too. I had about a half a loaf of homemade bread left, and it's starting to get a little stale. We're not eating the bread very fast right now, and I'm just going to make me some croutons. So I just cubed them up and put them in the dehydrator. Okay, we got a lot done. We got our potatoes put up. We got some peaches put up. We made I dehydrated some croutons, and we just got several things done, and I hope y'all enjoyed being with me. Mr. Brown, of course, he's busy, and he's fishing too. We'll be back with you in a few days. I'm not sure when I can get another video together and uploaded. School's starting back up. Grandkids are going back to school. Just got a lot going on. I've got a new grandbaby coming in September, and I'm spending a lot of time helping my daughter, my oldest daughter, and making sure that everything's taken care of, that her and the baby are taken care of. So a lot going on. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and we're just gonna go on with life, and we're just not gonna let anything dull our shine. I don't care what this world, what it's thinking anymore, but we just keep our faith, keep our eyes up to the good Lord, and we're just not going to let nothing get to us. We're going to make right decisions, but we're not going to let anybody dull our shine, and I don't want y'all to either. Because remember, God loves y'all so much, and we love y'all so much. So we'll see y'all in a few days. God bless everybody. Be safe this weekend, and we'll see you in a few days.